Don't we, how wonderful and gracious our monarch of 70 years is, Queen Elizabeth II, because we saw that recently when she invited very nicely the former royals known as, of course, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan. Basically, they decided that they were going to come over after being invited, and that was part of the reason, of course, why they couldn't take part in many different things, because again, you know, there were things to be sorted out, allocations, where they would sit, etc, etc. Of course, that was spun back that they were spurned, weren't invited, the usual stuff and guff, you know. It's never always like that, because the monarchy are very, very organised. You know, they like to do things literally, virtually the same thing every year, year after year, timed almost to the minute. That's because they're incredibly busy, and of course time is precious to them. And there's really the royal protocol. It's what's expected by the people. They want to see the monarch at the certain time. As we also told you, these sort of stories of them popping in and out, you know, being able to see the Queen at the drop of a hat, it doesn't really work like that. That's the reason why she has a private secretary who books people in to see her at her bequest with the time suitable and the length of time given. Even our current British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, the Right Honourable Boris Johnson, is given, of course, a short period of time every week to explain what's going on in government. Yes, it may run over, you know, 5-8 minutes, but not really that long, unless there's a world crisis. Some might say that's happening now, though. Interesting to note, isn't it, that every year the monarch likes to do the same thing, particularly with regards to her summer holidays. We know that she loves to go up to Balmoral, and if you are a member of the British monarchy, you get invited up to spend some time with our gracious monarch as and when she decides. You don't all go together. Obviously, there's just too many of them, and at this particular point in her life, she simply doesn't want to be exhausted. So, of course, where does that leave Harry and Meghan this year? Well, as we told you recently on the show, it looks like they have been offered an invitation. So how's that going? Well, according to that good source, even the lure of Balmoral with all that wonderful air, highlands, treats, and of course spending time with the world's most interesting woman, in my opinion, well, seemingly they are too busy. And according to that good source, it looks like Harry and Meghan will have to politely decline the invitation to go to Balmoral to spend some time with our gracious monarch. But what's the real reason behind that? Well, according to that good source, the real reason is simply this. As we know, Prince Harry is gearing up to release his tell-all book within a matter of weeks in the autumn. And this could prove really tricky and thorny, couldn't it? Because I'm sure that will be brought up as a topic, rightly so. And if, of course, you're sitting opposite your grandmother and you have to explain exactly what you're planning to do or exactly what you're planning to say, then it creates a very thorny situation. So, of course, Harry and Meghan have decided that the easy way out of this is to sadly not attend. Now, as we've seen with Harry, he must have had some real second thoughts about the things that he's done. And I would suggest on this particular instance, I would seize any opportunity to spend time with our wonderful monarch, because obviously the basic things around there, age, etc., and time. But even that really seemingly cannot lure both Meghan and Harry, along with their two children, back to Balmoral. Of course, the invitation still is wide open, and that could change at any time, but very shortly everything will be locked down into the diary, and it's very difficult to move things around, particularly when you're bringing in outside members who are obviously holidaying elsewhere around the world and still carrying on with their official and unofficial duties. So for now, the ball once again is very much back in Meghan and Harry's court. Will they once again let our gracious monarch down? As ever, when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.